In today's Warzone video, I'm going over some top fastest TTK loadouts y'all gonna love. These guns have a statistically fast TTK and of course a practically fast TTK, meaning they're actually usable. If you're going to enjoy the video, give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on, and let's hop into this. All right, so for our first gun here today, we're gonna be taking a look at the Fennec. This is a really good SMG that's got an incredibly fast time to kill in Warzone, and I absolutely love it. So let's give you guys a build here for it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna skip the muzzle category, we're gonna go straight for the barrel, and we're gonna add on the ZLR 18 Deadfall, which is the integral suppressor along with a barrel, which is really good, and highly recommend you guys run this one. Get a nice little 2-for-1 style deal here with this build. After that, we're skipping the underbarrel section, going straight for that magazine, and we're gonna go for the 40 round drum mag. This is gonna help us increase that ammo capacity the maximum possibly can be. You definitely don't want to ever run the stock mag on this thing. It is absolutely abysmal. It is pitiful. Definitely never do that. After that, in the rear grip section here, we're gonna go for that stipple grip tape here for ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. Gotta love that. It really helps out, and of course it's not gonna give away your position or something else like that if you had on a laser or something, you know, of that sort. Now in the stock section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through on the no stock attachment for the overall maximum increase in movement speed and ADS speed. Gotta love that. It's really a good attachment. And then finish off this whole build here to counteract the chalked as reload. We're gonna go for that beautiful sleight of hand here, and this is gonna finish out this build here for our first gun in this top 8, which is gonna be the fastest TTK guns. This is a really good SMG. I don't see a lot of people using it, but you definitely should be. For our next gun, we're gonna be taking a look at the CR56 AMAX. This is a really good gun. I don't see a lot of people actually using here nowadays for whatever reason. I mean, they've tried to nerf it a few times, but let's give you guys a build here for this because it's still unbelievably good. So first thing here, muzzle category, mono suppressor. We run this on a large majority of our Modern Warfare, if not all of our Modern Warfare weapons. The barrel section, we're gonna go for the XRK Zodiac S440 barrel. This makes it the most effective it can be at being a true AR. In the underbarrel section, this is where we have a little bit of debate here. I personally run a Commando foregrip, but I know some other people out there that maybe don't play on PC, controller on PC. They like running something like maybe a Ranger foregrip to counteract that recoil because it can bounce around a decent bit. But for me personally, I feel like I can control it enough by having the Commando foregrip on there. Just bounce between the Commando and the Ranger and just kind of see what works best for you. Now, in the magazine section, of course, you got to throw in the 45 round mag because it's the maximum, you know, ammo capacity we can get out of this thing. There's no real reason you should be running anything else on this gun, to be honest with you. Then to finish off this build, we have a couple of options in the optic section. Okay, one of them being the Corp Combat Hollow. That's the first option if you want to make this more of a medium-ish range build here for something like Rebirth Island. You guys can also throw in the VLK 3x optic, and that's going to be your longer range optic of choice. And if you guys want to go down here also a little bit farther, run the PBX Hollow 7 sight. It's a little bit of a crazy one, but pretty much it does the exact same thing as the Corp Combat Hollow, but it just looks a little bit cooler. So for me personally, I'd probably run this as more of a medium-ish range gun with like a hollow sight on it. So this is where I'm going to go. This is a really good AR, and you guys should definitely be using this. All right, next I'm going to take a look at probably the most popular AR in Warzone right now, which is the STG. It's got incredibly low recoil, a very solid time to kill, so that's the reason it's pretty much like way up there. I mean, you can't really go wrong with low recoil and a fast TTK, you know what I'm saying? So first thing in here, of course, is going to be the MX silence. We run this on a large majority of these Vanguard ARs. In the barrel section, we run the VDD 760mm 05B barrel. This is the best barrel out there, and I would not recommend you guys run anything else in here as of right now. In the underbarrel section, what we're going to do is we're going to go for that beautiful M1941 hand stop. This is a great underbarrel attachment for all these, you know, Vanguard ARs, SMGs, kind of like, you know, the whole 9 yards. It's really good for pretty much every single thing out there. In the magazine section, we're going to go for the 7.62 Gorenko 50. I know this says it decreases your damage and bullet penetration, but this is actually what makes this the best it can be as an AR, is running the Gorenko 50. Seriously, just, you know, you got to take my word for it, or you can not take my word for it. At least try it out. But the Gorenko is pretty much what I've been using. I've been frying with it. Pretty much ever since the update, I've been frying with it. So definitely go and try this out. And the ammunition side of things, of course, lengthened here for that overall increase in bullet velocity. It's really good. In the rear grip section here, we got to stabilize this gun a little bit. So we're going to go for the polymer grip for flinch resistance and accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. That's just like my go-to right now. In the optic section, couple options in here. I go for the G16 2.5 and I'm playing Rebirth Island, but if you guys want something with a little bit more zoom on it, you could definitely go down here and go for the SVT PU scope, which is at 3 to 6 times magnification. So pretty much gives you the same effect as like a VLK 3x optic or an Axel Arms 3 times, but this is going to be the Vanguard version. So between this and the G16, you guys can't go wrong. Now in the stock section, I'm going to go actually for the VDD 34S weighted stock. This is really going to help us out in terms of overall just stability of this weapon, and also because I do add a perk on here which kind of decreases that a little bit, so I'll show you guys that here in just a second, but this is my go-to for right now. In the perk section, we're actually gonna go through on Vital here for the increase in torso damage. Of course, this is a TTK build. I know if you guys maybe don't want this, you can run something like Nerves of Steel, which is better for accuracy and recoil while injured. Pretty much when you're getting shot at, I mean, it keeps you like on target. But for me personally, I run Vital and I really like that just because I feel like I stay on target enough as is. And Vital, of course, helps bring the TTK down or makes me take out people faster. Then in perk 2, we're gonna go throw on Fully Loaded here for maximum starting ammo capacity. So this is my full build here for the STG. Super good gun, top tier meta. I mean, I literally have this labeled as meta because this is like my blueprint saved. So definitely try this out. If I'm doing a TTK loadout video, I have to give you guys a build here for the ASVAL. This is just one of those guns that's just kind of like necessary to give you guys a build for, just because it still has statistically a really fast TTK. So first thing in here, of course, barrel section, we're gonna go for the VLK 200mm OSA barrel. This is gonna be the best one in here. And I mean, obviously this has got an integral suppressor in it because there's no muzzle attachment. So this has a suppressor already built into it. Next up in the barrel section, we're either gonna go for the Merc foregrip or the Commando foregrip. This is gonna be your personal preference here on this. If you want a little bit better hipfire accuracy, maybe a tad bit more recoil control, the Merc foregrip is going to be better, but of course it's going to slow you down a bit more, of course, than the Commando foregrip, which is not going to give you also any of that hipfire accuracy. So also, given that you're going to be using this as close quarters exclusively, you're not using this as an actual AR. It's not made for that in any capacity, so don't ever do that. But for me, I go for the Commando. In the magazine section, I mean, we have to throw in a magazine in here just because, I mean, listen, 30 rounds is pretty terrible. So, I mean, you have to run just the maximum ammo, and 20 is stock and 30 is the max we get, so you have to just throw this on here. In the rear grip section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw on the stipple grip tape here for ADS speed and sprint to fire. Gotta love that. I mean, that's pretty necessary in my opinion, just to be able to bring this gun up fast, to be able to compete with some of these other different meta SMGs out there, since this is the range you're gonna be using it in. And then to finish off this whole thing, we're either gonna go for a stock or we're gonna go for a perk. So I'll give you guys a stock section here, which is gonna be the Stavel SP30 Skeleton, which is gonna help with overall, like, pretty much mobility. But for me personally, what I end up doing is I go for a perk and I go for a sleight of hand, just because, like I said, 30 rounds in the magazine is not all that much, and you're gonna get lucky, maybe take out 1 to 2 people maximum. So the sleight of hand perk is going to be the way to go for at least my sort of personal preference here. But this is a build here for this gun. Definitely try it out. It's not going to be the most like viable, technically speaking, but it's still got a really, really fast TTK. All right, next up, we're going to give you guys a build here for the HIPFIRE PPSH. This is got a great TTK. I dropped a 30+ skill gameplay here with this recently, this exact build. So let's give you guys a setup for it, because this is really, really good. So first thing in here is going to be, of course, recoil booster. We run this on all of our Vanguard SMGs. On the barrel section, we're going to go for the Kolvaskaya 230mm BO3P barrel, whatever this thing is. It's a whole bunch of shenanigans, the name, but it pretty much does exactly what it's supposed to, which is give you guys the maximum fire rate you can possibly get. So definitely going to go for this. Now in the barrel section, we're going to go for the Carver foregrip here for that recoil control and hipfire accuracy. This is going to give you the most amount of hipfire accuracy you can possibly get, and it's also going to help out with that recoil control. So in the event you do need to ADS a little bit, which you're really not going to all that much, you can still definitely do that. Now in the magazine section, what we're going to do is we're going to go for the 8mm Nambu 71 round magazine. This is also going to once again increase your fire rate, recoil control, and accuracy. I mean, all this sort of good stuff right here. So I'd highly recommend you guys go for this one, or you could still, technically speaking, go for the drum mag and go for the Gorenko. But for me, I always go for this. Now on the ammunition side of things, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go through on, where is it? As lengthened, my bad. So we're going to go through on lengthened here for that overall increase in bullet velocity. Gotta love that. And in the rear grip section here, we're gonna go down and throw on, where is it? It's the, oh, it's a pine tar grip, my bad, it's right up there. But it's the recoil control and hipfire accuracy. We're of course trying to max out that hipfire accuracy, so of course the pine tar grip's gonna be the way to go. In the optic section, we're gonna go all the way down, and we're gonna go throw on some iron sights wherever these things are at. My bad, they're right here. They're not down at the very bottom where they are for, normally speaking, most other SMGs. But we go for this down here and we throw on the largest set of iron sights possible, and that's gonna help you out in those close quarter situations when you do actually have to ADS a little bit instead of just hip fire. Then in the stock section, we are gonna go for the remove stock here. Of course, increasing the hipfire accuracy, movement speed, and sprint to fire speed, all good things you need on a hipfire build. And then in perk 1, we're going to go for a tight grip here. Accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. This is going to make it so that your bullets, of course, stay in a better cluster. And then in perk 2, we're going to go for quick. but overall increase in sprint speed. This is a really good build here. You guys should be trying this thing out. Super good, very, very lethal at close range. Next up, let's give you guys a build here for the bar. This is a really good assault rifle right now that I think should definitely be in like your primary slots, just because great mobility, easy to control recoil, very good TTK. Let's hop into this thing. Muzzle category, MX silencer, of course. In the barrel section, we're gonna go for the CGC 30XL barrel. This is gonna make it the best it can be at being a true AR. In the underbarrel section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for the M19 forward enhance that, of course, recoil, control, and accuracy. Gotta love that. It helps out tremendously. In the magazine section, this is where it comes down to be pretty crucial. You pretty much should always be running the Clouser 40 round mag. This is what makes this gun really, really good. Here is this magazine, of course, and the other combination of attachments, but you have to run the Clouser 40. Don't go and run like the BMG, all that stuff. We need to be able to get this. This is gonna help us increase the fire rate, and of course, help us with that recoil control and all that stuff, aka making it so your shots hit faster and you're more accurate. In the ammunition side of things, of course, lengthened here like always for ARs. And rear grip, we're gonna go for that beautiful, beautiful leather grip here, ADS speed and aiming stability. Gotta love this. Or you could go for polymer grip. It's up to you guys. I tend to go with either leather or polymer on like an STG, something like that. So polymer or leather on this is gonna work out great. In the optic section, we're gonna go for the G16 2.5x, but much like the STG, you could always go down here for something like the SVT scope, which is at 3 to 6 times magnification. But for me personally, I go for the G16 because I play primarily Rebirth Island, and of course, this is, you know, the best thing out there for Rebirth. In the stock section, we're gonna go for that beautiful Chariot WR accuracy, flinch resistance, recoil control, aiming stability. Can help you hit a lot more of your shots. In the perk 1 section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for hard scope here for accuracy and recoil during sustained ADS. This can help you pretty much hit more shots, or you could go for something like, you know, sleight of hand. It's pretty much up to you, at least on that regard. And in perk 2, of course, we got only one thing in here that's really worth it, and that's fully loaded. So this is gonna be my full build here for this bar. Gotta love this thing. The bar is a real good AR right now. Definitely try it out. Now take a look also at another AR in Vanguard that's really good. That's kind of how this thing works right now, is a lot of these Vanguard ARs kind of almost dominate. Pretty much we got the NZ41 here, which has been recently buffed and really good. So of course, let's hop into a build for it. MX silencer first attachment, like always. Barrel section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for the Orb Weaver 360mm BC barrel. This is pretty much like the 05B, you know, the equivalent of like what we have on the STG. This is just the best thing out there for this gun. In the underbarrel section, we have the M19 41 hand stop, recoil control and accuracy, like always. Magazine, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for the 6.5mm Sakura 50 round mag. You guys should 100% be running this exclusively on this gun. Seriously, not just because, like, you know, goes the variant right here, just because this is the best attachment option out there. So always go for this. And the ammunition, of course, lengthens here. Don't gotta really talk about this much. Rear grip, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for that beautiful polymer grip, flinch resistance, and accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. Always really good stuff. Optic, G16 2.5x. Don't gotta explain this too much. Or of course, like I said for the other ones, the 3 to 6 times scope. This works out beautifully on this gun also in particular too. So definitely go ahead and try that out if you guys want to be able to do it. But for me, G16 2.5. In the stock section, I'm going to go for the Orb Weaver E-Pack for that maximum recoil control, recovery, all this sort of stuff. Flinch resistance keeps me on target the most I possibly can be. And then in perk 1, what we're going to do is we're going to go for Brace for the initial firing recoil. This can help you be an absolute laser beam, and it's a really, really good perk. And then in perk 2, of course, fully loaded. So this is my full build here for the NZ41. Really good AR. You guys should be trying out. Seriously, give it a shot. And for our final gun, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you guys a build here for the EM2. So this is a really good gun that I don't think gets enough love here, just because that recoil pattern. So as long as you can hit your shots, this thing has a great TTK. So that's also just kind of the caveat to it. If you can't hit your shots, of course, it's gonna be terrible. But if you can, it's really good. So first thing was the category, of course, HNC suppressor. We run this for all of our Cold War ARs. And the barrel section, we're gonna go for the 25.8 Task Force barrel. You definitely need that recoil control on this thing, so don't worry about those cons. It really does not matter. You need the Task Force barrel. Now in the underbarrel section, we're gonna go for the Field Agent here, horizontal and vertical recoil control. This is a really, really good option here. Pretty much best one out there. Don't ever recommend switching this out. Magazine section, this is where you can have a little bit of personal preference. For me, I go for the Fennec 50 just because it's the biggest magazine I can get for this gun. There's no 60 round mag, you know, I'm a 60 round mag kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? But I go for the Fennec 50 because it's the biggest out there. Also, the 40 round works out pretty nicely as well if you want a little bit more mobility. But for me personally right now, I go for the Fennec 50. This is a choice on personal preference at the end of the day. Now, in the optics section, what we have pretty much one option in here, and that's gonna be the Axle Arms 3 times. And for me, also, by the way, this variant right here, I actually switch this out and I go for the default Axle Arms 3 times just because I don't want to have to deal with that. Like it's a little bit crazy, a little bit too intrusive in your face, so I go for the default. But this is my full build here for this gun. This has been my top 8 TTK loadouts. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys all later. Just on a quick cap, don't be Randy, and I'm out. Peace.